In this video, we're going to see how we can use the what if analysis data table feature in Excel to do a sensitivity analysis where we can determine the profit for different product prices and for different amounts of the product sold. So we're going to determine the profit when changing these two variables. All right, so without further ado, let's get started. All right, so let's start with another feature that we had explained on a previous video, which is the goal seek feature. So let's say that we have a scenario where we have a car factory and we have the fixed costs at 100 million and the variable cost per car is $10,000 and the selling price per car is $25,000. And let's say that we're currently selling 2,000 cars. So our revenue this way is going to be the number of cars sold multiplied by the selling price per car, which is going to be $50 million. And our total variable cost, which is basically the variable cost per car multiplied by the cars sold, is going to be $20 million. So this is going to be our total cost, which is going to be the total variable cost plus the fixed cost. And we're currently sitting at a profit of negative $70 million. So it's basically a loss of $70 million. Now, let's say we want to know how many cars should we sell in order to reach the break-even point, which is having a profit of 0. So this is like the minimum amount of cars to sell in order not to be at a loss. So in order to know the number of cars that we need to sell in order to have 0 profit, we can use the goal seek feature in Excel. So to do that, we need to go to the data tab on the ribbon, and then under what if analysis, we're going to click on goal seek. And then with the goal seek feature, you're able to set a cell to a certain value by changing the value of another cell. So we're going to set this cell here to a value of 0 by changing the number of cars sold. And we're going to press OK. And now Excel is going to be able to calculate the number of cars that we need to sell in order to get to the break-even point, which is 6,667. Now, this is not the main tool that we're explaining in this video, but it was important to lay the foundation for what's upcoming in the video, which is creating a what-if analysis data table. Now, let's say that we need to build a data table to examine our profitability at different amounts of cars sold. So we want to check, if we sell 4,000 cars, what's going to be the situation? 4,500 cars, what's going to be the situation? 6,000, 6,500, 7,000, 8,000. We're going to build a table to show what our profitability would be if we sell different amounts of cars. So to do that, we can actually start building a table. So let's say we're going to have a medium value of 6,000 cars. This is going to be the value in the middle. So we're going to increase that by 500. So we're going to go by increments of 500 here to check the profitability at these different amounts of cars sold. We're going to also go under 6,000 by 500 car increments as well. So this way, we're going to be able to examine our profitability starting from 3,500 cars all the way to 10,000 cars. All right, so this is the first step here. We have only one variable that we're dealing with, and we built this column here that contains different values of that variable, which in this case is the number of cars sold. The next step in order to be able to build that data table is to link to the cell here containing the profit in our model. So this is our model that we have here on the left. So what we need to do is from the top value for our variable, we're going to go one step up and then one step to the right here. And in this particular cell, we're going to write equals, and we're going to link that to the cell containing the calculation for our profit, which is also linked to all these cells here. So you can see here that this cell is reflecting negative 10 million, which is the profitability at 6,000 cars sold. So now, in order to fill all these cells here with the profit at each corresponding number of cars sold, we need to select this area here and then go to the data tab on the ribbon and then go to what if analysis and click on data table. And here we are faced with two potential inputs. We have the row input cell and the column input cell. Currently, we only have one variable and the variable is in a column here. So we're only going to use the column input cell. So what are we supposed to put in this column input cell? Are we supposed to highlight these cells, for example, or what should we do? Well, actually, it's only one cell that we need to reference according to this prompt here. So it says here column input cell. So it's only one cell, and the cell we're going to reference is actually the cell in our model here that contains the number of cars sold. So because we have the number of cars sold here in the column, so we're going to reference the cell containing the number of cars sold, and that's all what we need to do at the moment because we're only dealing with one variable, and then we're going to click OK here. And this will give us the profit at different numbers of cars sold. We're going to format this to be in an accounting format. So as you can see here, we're going to start to be profitable here starting from around 7,000 cars. We actually calculated the break-even point and it was at 6,667 cars. So starting from around 7,000 cars, we're going to start being profitable here. We're going to have a profit of $5 million and all the way to $50 million if we sell 10,000 cars at the current selling price, which is $25,000. Now, this number here, negative 10 million at the top, looks a bit odd or out of context. So I think it would be better for the person reading this report to hide that number. So we can do that using multiple ways. So one way is to make the font white. So that's one way to do it. Another way is to use custom number formatting. So I'll highlight the cell here, Control and 1 to go to the custom number formatting here to format cells. And what I'm going to do is to add 3 semicolons here. So that's one way to do it as well, which is to use a number formatting that doesn't show what is in the cell. Another way is that we can use an emoji. So we could use a number formatting where we would have an icon. So I press the Windows button and the dot here. So I'll have a car emoji in case of positive numbers and also a car emoji in case of negative numbers. And also in case it's a 0, I'll also have a car emoji. So I'll have a car emoji for all the values if it is a number here, and I'll click OK. So because this is a car factory, this is why we chose this car emoji here, and we can make it maybe red and center it so this might look better. Thanks to Excel MVP Lara Gorani for the emoji tip. Now let's say that we need to examine our profitability by changing 2 variables instead of 1. So in addition to changing the number of cars sold here that we have in the column, we need to also change the selling price per car. So our current selling price is $25,000, and this is going to be our median value here that we're going to put in the middle. And let's say we're going to move by $2,000 increments here. So we're going to go down by $2,000 increment here on the left. And we're also going to increase our selling price by $2,000 increments here on the right. And we're going to change that to a currency here, as this is money. So we're now going to examine our profitability by changing 2 variables, the number of cars sold and the selling price. And we're going to have the results appear here in this area in the middle. But in order to do that, in this cell here between our 2 variables, we need to link to the cell containing our profit. So this is what we're going to do. And now we can select this area here, including the cell containing our formula or linking to our profit formula here. We're going to go to data and what if analysis, and then we're going to select data table and our row input cell, because the row here contains our selling price. So the row input cell is going to be the selling price per car. And for the column input cell, because our column here contains the number of cars sold, therefore our column input cell is going to be the cell containing our number of cars sold. And we're going to click OK. And as you can see here, we get our profit here filling the area in the middle, or the cells in the middle. We need to format that here. So we're just going to select this formatting, this accounting format here. And as you can see here, we have our profit. You'll also notice here that the result that we get is actually an array formula. So in order to delete it, you can't delete one individual cell. In order to delete the results, you need to select all the cells and then delete them. But we're going to press Ctrl and Z to undo that. Now, one more thing that we can do in order to improve or enhance the visualization of our results is to create a heat map of our values here for the profit. So we can select the resulting values of the profit and then go to conditional formatting, color scales, and we can use this formatting here where we have the negative values as red and then the transition into white and all the way towards green when the profitability increases. All right, so now we've created a heat map that can help us visualize our results easily. All right, guys, so in this video, we've gone quickly over the goal seek feature in Excel, and we've also explained how to create a data table to be able to visualize different scenarios, whether you're changing only one variable or two variables at the same time. One more feature that can complement the knowledge that you've acquired on this video is the solver feature in Excel. And the solver feature is a great feature because it's basically the goal seek feature on steroids, where you can change multiple variables and also add constraints. And we've created a video previously on the channel explaining the solver feature, and I'll leave you the link for the video down below in the description. Alright guys, so this concludes our video today. So if you found the video helpful, please make sure to like and share the video and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be notified with all future videos. And please make sure to follow us on social media. You'll find the links down below in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.